I mean, in the third age, you have darkness rising in Sauron, but in second age, you have embodied Sauron, who, in the third age, they're worried that Sauron is going to do what he did do in the second age. They say he could cover the world in a second darkness. And in the second age, you watch him cover the world in darkness. So we're watching that happen, and it's difficult, it's hard.
Genuinely, that is what made me so excited. Because it was something that he, was able to really care about and watch as well. So I think that was really important, and also I love the book so much.
Like religion at certain points. I mean, you read the Silmarillion and it feels like the elves' sacred text, and to be able to create that as a single author, that's something that bears that sort of feeling of truth and spirituality is really, mind-boggling. And then he approached his fiction writing. The grey rain curtain of this world falls back, and then you see it. What, Gandalf? What do you see? White shores, and beyond it, a far green country.
But I do feel like with a lot of people, they're very similar to their characters.
Hi.
Hi.
How excited are you guys for the release of the show?
Oh my gosh,
Very
peak excitement.
Really very, very excited.
Yeah. And The Rings of Power is considerably darker, when compared to Peter Jackson's, the OG trilogy.
Debatable.
Yeah. But because the Lord of the Rings had 3 kids, and the kids at the center of the narrative, it was more of he struck a right balance, kind of. And was this kind of an aesthetic and the stuff that when you started developing itself, did it kind of form, or was it something that evolved over time as you were working with it? And because it has more adults and swords and fight and everything. Do you think so?
Well, the second age is in some ways a darker time than the third age. I mean, in the third age, you have darkness rising in Sauron, but in second age, you have embodied Sauron, who, in the third age, they're worried that Sauron is going to do what he did do in the second age. They say he could cover the world in a second darkness. And in the second age, you watch him cover the world in darkness. So we're watching that happen, and it's difficult, it's hard.
Yeah. And Nori and Poppy are 2 of the most fun-loving, the lighter characters. So what made you narrow down on these 2 actors? What were the factors that made you choose them?
I mean, they were both so special. We saw hundreds of actors for these auditions for these roles, literally hundreds. And I think Markella was one of the first that we ended up casting. And she felt so special. She felt so unique in that she both was able to have that sort of light whimsy, but also she was so emotional and able to calibrate her emotionality in a way that we just knew people would draw in. She had kind of a leading woman quality that we felt would be able to anchor this storyline. And it's a lot to ask of a young actress, to be able to hold a storyline and hold people's attention. And we felt like she could do that. And then Megan, Megan, what was so special about Megan is we had, in some ways, a different conception of the character. And Megan was so strong in the way that she interpreted what was on the page in her audition that it actually brought us to change the conception of the character entirely to write towards Megan, because we thought what she did was so cool. So they each brought something so unique and specific, and then we thought that their energy together, Megan has a little bit more of a street smart, world-wise kind of sardonic savvy about her, and we felt like that kind of comedy would play really well against the more earnest and kind of I hate the word plucky, but energetic and optimistic, earnestness of Nori, and the 2 of them together, it's peanut butter and jelly. You just get
Oh, thank you, JD.
JD, that is so
nice.
kind. Thank you.
Wow.
That means so much.
No, it's very true.
Thank you.
And Markella, The Rings of Power is significantly different from the shows you have done till now, especially in terms of the physical transformation you have to undergo. And what made you decide to take this project or audition for it?
Yeah, I mean, I was so excited to audition for it. I think I knew how much, honestly, the books and Tolkien means so much to my dad, and genuinely that is what made me so excited. Because it was something that he, was able to really care about and watch as well. So I think that was really important, and also I love the book so much. I love the film so much. So even just the opportunity to audition was so incredible, and I really didn't want to take it for granted. And then when I was called back for it, I genuinely thought that would be it. And I was like, you know what, at least in the harder parts, I can just, have had that experience. So it was truly a dream. Like, it really was a dream coming true, and I couldn't believe it.
How many times did we call you back? Was it 3 times?
Twice.
Twice we called you.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It was an amazing experience.
And Megan, Poppy is like a ray of sunlight.
Oh,
Like she has
nice.
Nori's back all the time. But like, what was the one thing that you felt like was unexpectedly challenging while playing the character?
Oh, wow. I think, I don't know, I mean, there's so much that is unexpected. I think, I mean, this project, I've never experienced anything like it. So I think that was kind of the unexpected part. But I think one of the joys is, what I love is just playing the absolute truth to a character. And I think when the writing is great, you can, that expands and it sort of becomes multidimensional. And the wonderful thing is that I think it feels like, to me anyway, the way that it's always been written is the showrunners have always known the voice of Poppy from the very beginning, and it felt very strong to me. So I think that was, it just kind of flowed, and I was, yeah.
And Tolkien's bibliography is like vast. What do you find most like compelling about Tolkien literature?
I mean, it is literature that reads like history and like mythology and like religion at certain points. I mean, you read the Silmarillion and it feels like the elves' sacred text, like, and to be able to create that as a single author, that's something that bears that sort of feeling of truth and spirituality is really, mind-boggling. And then he approached his fiction writing with the rigor of an etymologist and a linguist and someone who loves language. And he developed Quenya as an elven language and then evolved it slowly using the rules of morphology and syntax into Sindarin. And so Tolkien would often say he didn't feel like he was creating Middle Earth. He felt like he was discovering it and excavating something that already existed before him. And when you read it, it feels that way. You feel like you're reading something from another dimension or planet or time or something that actually happened somewhere that is a true record. And I think to be able to accomplish that as an author is a tremendous feat.
And I'm assuming all of you have watched Peter Jackson's OG Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Love
what
it.
is that one scene that comes to your head, like your mind when you think about it? Like maybe the best one you think, or the first one that comes to your head?
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go
I've got-
ahead.
yeah. It's like the great stories, Mr. Frodo, the ones that really matter.
Aww.
Samwise's monologue.
Yeah.
Like every time I choke up,
Yeah.
like there's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for.
Yeah, I love that.
I go there every time.
Yeah.
That and then when Pippin is with Gandalf and he says, "I didn't think it would end this way, Gandalf." And he says, "End? No, death is not the end. It's but another path, one they all must take. The grey rain curtain of this world falls back, and then you see it. What, Gandalf? What do you see? White shoals, and beyond it, a far green country under a swift sunrise."
Wow.
I just like, it gives me chills every time. I
Yeah,
love
it's
it.
incredible.
I love
That
it.
is incredible.
Markella?
I love the Two Towers. I love everything The Two Towers. That's like my favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite film. So I can't pick a scene.
Okay.
Genuinely, I think I've watched that film. I've watched that one so many times, but I just love it so much. So I'm just gonna say that.
Well, the first time I actually ever watched the films was after I got this job. I wasn't aware of Tolkien really before I got this job, so this has been my education. But there was the cinema was showing all of the films' extended versions on one day. So I watched all of the films for 12 hours. And so it all kind of, I was just sort of like blasted with Tolkienian material. So I don't even know if I could pick a scene. I just think that whole experience for me was just like, it was just mind-blowing. It was incredible. Yeah.
And the last question, like, sorry, you wanted to add something?
No, I was gonna just say that I always love the Arwen and Aragorn.
Oh, yeah.
You know, at the very end when they finally reunite.
Yeah.
I just love that.
And the last one, like, in the entire like franchise, the Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, Rings of Power, which character do you feel is like more similar or like stays close to your real life personality? I would say I'm a Sam. So, like,
So
which one
lovely.
do you think?
Oh, that's really cool.
JD.
Very hard to say.
Oh yeah, who do you
I mean, either Elrond or Tom Bombadil, somewhere between those two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Tom kind of balances a wacky part with a part that's a lot more serious. And there's a part of me that is like very serious, and then there's a part of me that's like really pretty silly. And so I love that axis of time with that. But around also, I feel like I connect with a lot as a character.
Yeah, I find it really difficult to say one for myself.
Yeah.
But I feel with you.
This is very helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, unless you do. You have one for yourself?
I'm struggling too.
I feel like maybe. Oh gosh, actually, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
It is actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why I want to say Gollum.
Yeah, you can.
But I'm not Gollum. But I just love Andy Serkis's portrayal of Gollum so much.
Season 6, Nori goes real dark.
Yeah, exactly. No.
Like the appendix to the show.
Yeah, no.
Nori Gollum.
I mean, I would love to be more like Nori, I think.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I just love everything about the Ents. I've said that so many times today. But
Do you think you could be an Ent?
I mean, I would love to be.
Yeah.
I would love to be.
Favorite?
Yeah, I just love nature as well. So actually, maybe, yeah. Yeah, or an eagle.
It's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I also think the way
Why
the
not?
showrunners have cast this is pretty incredible because every single person who's playing the roles they're playing, I feel like is in line with their personality in some way. Apart from Charlie Vickers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Charlie Vickers is no Sauron.
Make that very clear.
Yeah, no Sauron, no. But I do feel like with a lot of people, they're very similar to their characters.